When Britain declared war on Nazi Germany in September 1939, British engineering, naval dominance, and scientific ingenuity produced innovations that fundamentally altered how World War II was fought and won. Let's begin. Aircraft, RAF innovation. Supermarine Spitfire, The Legend of the Skies, UK, 1938 to 1952. Designed by R.J. Mitchell and powered by the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, the Spitfire combined extraordinary speed with an elliptical wing that gave it unmatched maneuverability. Over 20,000 were built across 24 variants, continuously upgraded to remain competitive against every new German design. How it changed World War II. During the Battle of Britain in 1940, Spitfires engaged elite Luftwaffe pilots over southern England in the first decisive air campaign in history. Without the Spitfire holding air superiority, Operation Sea Lion, the German invasion of Britain, would have been feasible. In later years, its high-altitude performance allowed it to intercept Me-262 jets in landing patterns, one of the only propeller aircraft capable of countering Germany's jet threat. Consequences: the Spitfire proved that qualitative air superiority could prevent invasion. Its design philosophy influenced British jet programs like the Gloucester Meteor, and post-war variants flew reconnaissance missions until the 1950s. A great aircraft, continuously improved, can remain relevant across an entire war. Hawker Hurricane, the battle winner, UK, 1937 to 1944. While the Spitfire captured public imagination, the Hurricane was the RAF's true workhorse. More rugged and faster to produce, 14,533 were built, and Hurricanes accounted for 55% of all German aircraft destroyed during the Battle of Britain. How it changed World War II. RAF doctrine deliberately assigned Hurricanes to engage German bomber formations while Spitfires tackled the fighter escorts, a tactical division of labor that was brutally effective. In the Western Desert, Hurricane variants with 40mm cannons became devastating tank busters against Rommel's Afrika Korps, destroying armored vehicles from angles their armor couldn't protect. Consequences: the Hurricane proved that different aircraft excel at different roles, driving specialization in RAF strategy. Its anti-tank variant pioneered dedicated ground attack aviation, a concept that evolved into post-war strike aircraft. Mass production of a proven, adaptable design beats small numbers of a technically superior one. De Havilland Mosquito, the Wooden Wonder, UK, 1941 to 1955. Built primarily from wood to conserve strategic metals, the Mosquito combined the speed of a fighter with the range of a bomber. Over 7,700 were built across roles ranging from precision bomber to night fighter and photo reconnaissance, the most versatile Allied aircraft of the war. How it changed World War II. Mosquito bombers flew low-level precision raids previously impossible for any other aircraft, including the 1943 Amiens prison raid and attacks on Gestapo headquarters in Oslo and Copenhagen. Its speed gave it the lowest loss rate of any RAF aircraft over Europe, and as a radar-equipped night fighter, it decimated Luftwaffe bombers over Britain. Consequences: the Mosquito established that speed itself is armor, a principle applied to every modern strike aircraft. Its success directly influenced the English Electric Canberra and NATO's low-level penetration bombing doctrine that culminated in the Tornado. Naval warfare, Rule Britannia. HMS Warspite, the Grand Old Lady, UK, 1915 to 1945. A Queen Elizabeth-class battleship that fought in both World Wars, HMS Warspite earned more battle honors than any other Royal Navy ship in history. Armed with 8 15-inch guns and modernized between the wars, she fought from Jutland in 1916 to the beaches of Normandy in 1944. How it changed World War II. At Narvik in 1940, Warspite's guns devastated the German destroyer flotilla, eliminating a significant portion of the Kriegsmarine surface force at a critical early moment. At Cape Matapan, she anchored the force that sank 3 Italian heavy cruisers in the first carrier-based radar-directed night engagement in naval history. Her 15-inch guns then supported every major Allied amphibious landing from Sicily to Normandy. Consequences: Warspite demonstrated that a well-designed ship, properly modernized, can remain decisive across decades. Her actions at Narvik reduced Hitler's sea-based options at a pivotal moment, and the fire support role she perfected became doctrine for every Allied landing that followed. Flower-class corvette, Guardian of the Atlantic, UK/Canada, 1940 to 1945. Small, simple, and fast to build, the Flower-class corvette was designed to counter the U-boat threat. Over 267 were constructed in British and Canadian shipyards, equipped with ASTIC sonar, depth charges, and the Hedgehog anti-submarine mortar, becoming the backbone of Atlantic convoy escort operations. How it changed World War II. In 1942, U-boats were sinking Allied ships faster than they could be built. Mass deployment of Flower-class corvettes in coordinated hunter-killer groups reversed this equation, driving U-boat loss rates to unsustainable levels by mid-1943 and turning the tide of the longest continuous campaign of the war. Consequences: the Flower class proved that simple, producible weapons in large numbers can defeat technically superior threats. Their success established the convoy escort model that defines naval anti-submarine warfare today, and their integration of sonar, depth charges, and air cover became the direct template for Cold War ASW doctrine. Technology and artillery, the science of war. Chain-home radar system, the Invisible Shield, UK, 1937 to 1945. Chain-home was the world's first integrated air defense radar network, stretching from Scotland to Cornwall. Developed under Robert Watson Watt, it detected aircraft at up to 200 kilometers and fed data directly into RAF filter rooms, giving fighter command real-time situational awareness no air force had ever possessed. How it changed World War II. Chain-home gave RAF controllers precise data on every Luftwaffe raid before it crossed the coast, allowing fighter command to scramble exactly the right squadrons at the right moment. Without it, Britain would have required permanent standing patrols, an impossibility. It was arguably the single greatest technological advantage of the entire war. Consequences: Chain-home established integrated air defense, combining detection, command, and response into one networked system. Every modern air defense architecture from NATO SAGE to US NORAD descends directly from it, and the data link principle it pioneered defines 21st century military systems. Lee Enfield No. 4 Rifle, the Sniper's Choice, UK, 1895-1960s. The standard British infantry rifle of World War II, the Lee Enfield could fire 15 aimed rounds per minute, nearly double the German Kar 98K. Its 10-round magazine and smooth bolt action gave British soldiers a volume of fire opponents consistently mistook for automatic weapons. Over 17 million were produced. How it changed World War II. In North Africa, at Tobruk, and across Burma, small British units held positions against numerically superior forces through sheer fire rate. The sniper variant, the No. 4T, was one of the most accurate systems of the war, used to devastating effect in Italy and Northwest Europe, where individual marksmen disrupted entire German advances. Consequences: Canadian Rangers still carry the Lee Enfield today, over 125 years after the original design. Its high-capacity magazine influenced post-war rifle design globally, and British doctrine around fire volume established the principle that rate of fire can compensate for numerical inferiority. Barnes-Wallis Bouncing Bomb, the Dam Buster, UK, 1943. Designed by Barnes-Wallis, the upkeep bomb spun backwards at 500 revolutions per minute before release, skipping across water, sinking against a dam wall, and detonating at depth. Delivered by specially modified Avro Lancasters of 617 Squadron flying at precisely 60 feet and 232 miles per hour, only 19 were ever manufactured. How it changed World War II. Operation Chastise on May 16 to 17, 1943, breached the Möhne and Eder dams in the Ruhr Valley, flooding Germany's industrial heartland. Critically, it forced Germany to divert 20,000 workers from Atlantic Wall construction, workers who would otherwise have fortified Normandy's defenses. Consequences: the Dam Busters raid established precision strategic bombing as doctrine. Barnes-Wallis followed it with the Tallboy and Grand Slam earthquake bombs, 10-ton weapons that sank the Tirpitz and destroyed hardened U-boat pens, directly inspiring the laser-guided bombs and cruise missiles that define precision strike today. Armored warfare, steel and fire. Churchill infantry tank, the Fortress on Tracks, UK, 1941 to 1952. Britain's heaviest infantry tank at 40 tons, with armor up to 152 millimeters thick, exceeding the Tiger I's frontal plate. The Churchill was built to survive and support infantry across brutal terrain. Over 5,640 were produced, culminating in the Churchill Crocodile flamethrower variant that projected burning fuel 120 yards into fortified positions. How it changed World War II. In Tunisia in 1943, Churchills climbed terrain at Longstop Hill that German commanders had dismissed as impassable for armor, achieving total tactical surprise. Churchill AVRE variants with petard demolition mortars breached German fortifications during Normandy that conventional tanks couldn't approach. Lessons learned directly from the disaster at Dieppe in 1942. Consequences: The Churchill spawned the Funnies, Percy Hobart's 79th Armored Division, fielding flail tanks, bridge layers, and amphibious DD tanks. Beaches where the Funnies deployed on D-Day suffered a fraction of the casualties of American beaches where they were declined. Specialized armored engineering vehicles remain in service across every major army today. QF 17-pounder anti-tank gun, the Tiger Killer, UK, 1942-1950s. Britain's most powerful anti-tank weapon of the war, the 17-pounder fired a 76.2mm shell at 2,900 feet per second, penetrating 140 millimeters of armor at 1,000 yards, enough to defeat the Tiger I frontally and the Panther from any angle. Mounted on the Sherman Firefly, it gave Allied crews the first tank capable of engaging Germany's heaviest armor at practical ranges. How it changed World War II. The Sherman Firefly became the most feared Allied tank in Normandy. German Tiger and Panther commanders were specifically ordered to destroy Fireflies before any other target. Firefly crews camouflaged their long barrels to delay targeting. The towed 17-pounder destroyed over 100 German tanks in Italy and proved decisive around Caen in 1944. Consequences. The 17-pounder led directly to the Royal Ordnance L7 105mm gun, arguably the most successful tank gun of the 20th century, adopted by the M60, the Israeli Merkava, and dozens of NATO armies, proving that firepower must always be the priority in tank design. Conclusion. Britain won World War II not by building perfect weapons, but by deploying good ones reliably at scale and in systems that worked together when it mattered most.